Tonight on Trailer Trash Talk, Anyway, it's Scary Dude. Loud. As I was saying, tonight, it's... Oh, my ass.
Let me try. It's scary stories to tell.
What?
Ooh, let me try.
Oh, crap, you guys.
Hey, what's going on?
I can't hear. Am I talking? Oh, no. I think I've gone blind.
What? Well, you kids can read, right? Tonight we're watching the trailer for, Frightening Fables to Recite in the Gloom.
Genius, Vic. That sound editor can't get us now. Well, for those of you who don't know, this movie is based on the trilogy of children's books by the same name, a collection of folk tales and urban legends by author Alvin Schwartz, and unforgettably nightmarish and surreal artwork by Stephen Gamble.
The stories themselves are all very simple, many of them only a paragraph or two in length. There are a lot of repeated themes with only a minor change here and there. While they're a great read, arguably the books wouldn't have had the impact they did without the truly creepy illustrations.
Stephen Gamble could draw a wet sack of oatmeal and make it look scary. I remember reading these books when I was just a little tadpole, and sometimes folding the pages over the illustrations. Otherwise, I couldn't finish the stories. I was too distracted with the thought of the drawings staring back at me.
From the trailer, it's evident that producer and lifelong horror nerd Guillermo del Toro understood the impact of Gamble's art and took pains to make sure the creature effects were more or less faithful to their illustrated counterparts. But I say more or less because something's missing. Sure, Harold more or less looks like Harold.
The Pale Lady more or less looks like the Pale Lady.
But there's a dripping, ephemeral, dreamlike quality to every illustration in the book series that quite frankly just isn't there. The books are filled with bleak landscapes of spider webs and dead trees that appear to bleed ink off the page. There are haunted houses with grotesque, absurd geometry that fades into darkness or spirals off into madness. Even normal objects and regular people are depicted as ghastly, grimacing ghouls.
Yeah, much of this nightmare atmosphere appears absent from the trailer. It looks very much like a typical modern horror film, and the books deserve more than that. I'm not even sure that a live-action adaptation is the right way to go. An animated feature, properly done, would have a better chance at capturing the right essence.
I agree, Sonny. Aesthetic problems aside, this trailer features a very uninspired wraparound narrative about a bunch of kids finding a book of scary... Now, come on, I wasn't even gonna say the name! This trailer's giving me tinnitus!
How do they make a footstep sound that loud?
Anyway, there's this hackneyed foil story about kids finding themselves written into the stories in the book. And wouldn't you know it, the stories become real. What a novel concept. Whoopity-ding-dong-doo.
How unnecessary. Most of the original stories were so short that creating a simple anthology would have worked just fine. They would have had more freedom to explore all the different kinds of folklore, urban legends, poems, and songs, and really make it something unique. Many of the stories in the series were downright funny, but from the looks of the trailer, each story will be forced to conform to the, serious nature of the overarching plot.
Look, they include the story The Attic here in the trailer. That story was supposed to make you think there's a monster or something in this guy's attic. But just as he opens the attic door, the storyteller is supposed to stop in mid-sentence and scream. There's a note at the end that instructs that if anybody asks what happened, the storyteller is to explain that the guy stepped on a nail. They ain't gonna put something like that in this movie. It just wouldn't fit the tone. I could be wrong, but I think the end product is going to be a lot less fun than it could have been. And that's a real shame.
Also, this might be a minor gripe, but why is it that in a movie targeted at a bunch of dumb teens, they have to make the protagonists all a bunch of dumb teens? For example, this dumb jock kid here in the story about Harold.
Eat it, Harold.
The scarecrow who comes to life should be a farmer. It might just be a cosmetic detail, but I think it's another thing that comes back to limiting the tone. That is, Taking some really timeless classic stories and stuffing them into a lame, generic teen movie, where all the stories have to relate back to the same lame, generic teen characters and their lame, generic plot every 12 minutes.
Okay, we saw it. Should we go now?
Who ordered the chicken?
This kid, Augie, is supposed to be a little boy who finds a toe sticking out of the ground. Then he takes it home and makes soup out of it. It's similar in premise to other stories in the series, almost all of them revolving around the act of necro-cannibalism, presumably because these stories originated in times of famine. I just don't think this modern teen horror movie will succeed in being as morbid and macabre as a children's book series from 30-something years ago.
Oh, you know that fake Hollywood Herald in the movie isn't gonna end up tanning that kid's flayed, bloody skin on the roof. I know the real Herald, and he couldn't afford those fancy designer CG bugs crawling around on his face. He owes me $50, the deadbeat.
Couldn't they spend 95 cents for some crickets or cockroaches at the pet shop just for the sake of realism? How much did those CG spiders cost?
$40 million US.
That could have bought so many spiders.
And this guy, the jangly man?
The jangly man is coming.
What the hell is he supposed to be?
There's no such creature in any of the books.
The closest you get is the story, Who Do You Come For? It's about this lonely old lady who wishes she wasn't so lonely. So a bunch of body parts fall down a chimney, and the corpse reassembles itself and dances around the room. Flippity-flappity.
Yeah, the corpse is described as a great gangling man. So that means either the people who made this movie can't read, or some corpse in a suit tried to turn the concept into some kind of lame signature monster with a lame catchy name for the sake of turning their movie into a lame franchise. Which is probably close to the truth, considering this silly thing is a bit more needlessly stylized than a reconstituted corpse.
Put some pants on, you degenerate!
Does he know he isn't wearing any pants either?
Shut up or he'll hear you. Yeah, you nudist creep!
Well, I think we've vented enough about this movie, don't you, Vic?
I guess so. I really want to love this movie, so I hope all of my negativity is for naught. But this trailer, it just doesn't feel right.
It seems to me that they've taken an opportunity to make a real love letter to classic folk horror, and they've squandered it. Sadly, most of the kids who see this movie won't know anything about the books, and they'll probably like the movie just fine.
We're getting old, Sonny.
We're getting old, Sonny.
Too true, Vic. That reminds me. I need to take my bladder medication.
Okay, well, we hope we're wrong about this movie, kids.
One more.
We know that, at the very least, Giltardo del Dorito is a true horror fan.
Did you say Del Taco?
And André Øvredal, that Norwegian guy made Troll Hunter. And that was a pretty good movie, so maybe we're just fretting over nothing.
Here's hoping. Any last words, oh great Lord Vapula?
Tacos? Huh? Oh, yeah. Just remember, kids, if you plan on seeing this movie, take some earplugs. It might not be scary, but it'll definitely be... Hey kids, Vapula here. Just gotta remind you that if you like the video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that little bell thing so you can be notified when a new video comes out. You can also leave a like or a comment or do both. It really helps us out. Tell a friend. If you don't have a friend, dig up a corpse and talk to it. Then touch it.